All right. To make it as simple as I possibly can, hi, my name is Mason, and this is To Be an Engineer. Um, I'm currently a third year electrical engineering student at insert college here, which I'm not going to tell you where I go to college, at least not yet, unless you figure it out from some stuff around my room. Um, Being an electrical engineering student, you are consistently challenged mentally. And, I'm making this, I don't even know what like a docu, like a series of videos, just like vlogs, is whatever, to kind of organize my thoughts, to see my progress within the degree, and to, you know, if someone else sees this that's also in a similar field, or any, honestly, this can go for any um major. College is rough, and I think having someone that shares that sentiment with you is very helpful. And I've found that very helpful when speaking with other people, especially in my major, where um, you are consistently being challenged. Um, I've recorded this a few times over, um, frankly, over a year. Um, I've gone off and on of setting up these video blogs, and so I'm trying to make these an everyday or at least every other day thing. Um, with those previous attempts, maybe I'll post them at some other point, but definitely not now. As I mentioned, I am in my third year, so I'm already, um, or wait, no, am I in my fourth year? I am, as you can tell, I am scatterbrained aggressively. Um, as goes with every college student. So, being in my, I guess, third, fourth year, give or take, I have about a year or two left. For many college degrees, it's about a 4 year plan. Engineering, it's about 4.5, maybe 5 years. Um, I decided to take some other additional courses through an honors college program, so it might be closer to 5.5 for me. Just really depends. I've been taking stuff during the summer to try and mitigate that, but that's just where we're kind of at right now. Um, but I've always thought about making a channel like this to, as I've kind of already mentioned, organize my thoughts, see where my progress is within the degree, and kind of just be that assistance if anyone else needs it. The pep talk and the day to day of what it means to be a college student. Because I know, especially like if you talk to your parents or friends that might not be in college or might not be taking the same major as you, it can be really difficult trying to find that camaraderie. And as an engineering student, we're sorry, I have my phone's pinging because I'm also watching the score for the Bills game right now. Go Bills, right? Um, it can feel, well, I forgot what I was already talking about, but it can feel very lonely being a college student. For me, I'm gonna speak mostly entirely as an electrical engineering student. This is what I've done since the beginning. This is what I've planned to do since I was a kid. Really, I mean, I'm trying to think what else I even wanted to be when I was a kid. Play games and do YouTube, which who knows, maybe that'll be another channel or something like that. Um, but this is what I wanted to do. Um, and what I didn't expect going into college was the loneliness factor. And, finding friends within engineering is difficult. Um, our major definitely isn't known for our social skills, and that can be very difficult. A lot of our interaction is just based around our major, and I have a bunch of discords that I'm in and whatnot, but typically it's just the collective conversation of how we're all gonna fail, and us all failing together means we'll all pass. So let's go 40% averages on exams, and screw you for breaking the curve. I know, I know you, I know it was you. Um, I guess to kind of talk about myself for a little bit. Um, I already said my name is Mason. I'm in my third, fourth-ish year, of electrical engineering at a college. and it's been rough. I I lied. There was something I wanted to do before electrical engineering, so let's add that on, right? Going through high school, I was a great student. I was a great student, but I wasn't a great learner, if that makes sense. You know, I don't. I'm not sure. I'm not saying this to sound braggy or whatever, but things became pretty easy to me, uh, school wise. I never really tried that often, and I mostly skated through high school completely unchallenged, right? And going out of or in high school, I took all the honors, the advanced AP classes, whatever, freaking pass them all, get the AP credit, transfer it to a college, that whatever you want. And you know, I had the idea when I was in school that I wanted to be a history teacher, right? And cuz I love history. World War II history, Civil War history. If you can't tell from my accent, I'm an American and I love the Civil War. I love learning about the history of my country. Um I mean, I love little battles and stuff. I mean, Warhammer. So I'm a nerd. I mean, it makes sense that I went into engineering afterwards, but you know, uh, kind of avoiding, kind of speaking about why I moved away from wanting to be a teacher. I eventually did, and engineering has always been something that has been on the other side of like my mindset as well, and that's a reason why at first I kind of completely forgot that I even had that idea for teaching, because you know a huge chunk of the people in my family, sorry, have been engineers, um, and you know it always just seemed really cool to me. So, um, I pick engineering basically as my, well, I don't really know what I'm going to do, so I'm going to do it, you know? I go into ACTs, right? And I learn that I don't really know much about that much about math as I thought. And I did not do very well in my ACTs when, at least in the math portion, in comparison to what I wanted, right? So going into college, I actually had to test into my first calc class. Um, because I actually had never even done pre-calc really. So let alone actual proper calculus, you know, derivatives, integrals, all that fun garbage. Um, so I had to test into it. I think I tested into it by I think a few points, which cool, right? Yeah, not cool. I had no clue what was going on my first semester. I failed that class. And I mean, being a kid that, you know, freaking slammed his way through high school, easy peasy, right? I've been joined student council. I was bored. Loved student council though. It was great. Did it for 1 year, right after COVID. Um, Oh gosh. Yeah, but failing that class really threw me. It threw me out bad. So bad that I actually that day that I kind of knew I failed the class. Basically, we took like a final test, and I was just like, "Yeah, I'm pretty confident I failed." There was a National Guard recruiter at the library, and I walked straight to the library and I started talking to that guy. I was like, "This is what I'm gonna do. Screw school for now. I'm gonna go into the National Guard. I'm gonna learn some engineering skills on job, and then they'll pay for my schooling." Um, and I went home that night, and I was thinking about it a lot. I thought I don't even know if I recorded a video for that when I was doing these other journals or whatever, these video journals. Um, I don't even think I record. I'd have to double check after this, right? Um, but I just literally sat on the floor of my room. I think actually literally right there by that whiteboard, and I stared at the whiteboard and I had like this thought that I was just like, are you really going to quit something that you have barely even started. It was literally my first like introduction into engineering, right? I mean, now that I know going into my, I mean, being in my about fourth issue or whatever, that wasn't even, that's not even engineering. I mean, um, I was like, am I already going to quit before I even started? And I mean, the other classes I was taking, you know, like your freshman seminar and, uh, you know, all the other important stuff that pertains to electrical engineering, you know, like history of rock and roll, you know, um, took like I had to take a speech class for engineers. That was pretty funny. Because I mean, I'm not the most charismatic person, but I can public speak. Um, yeah, most people could not, but to each of their own, you know. And you know that night I decided that I wasn't going to go into the National Guard. I was going to stick it out here. I was going to make school my main priority, and I never messaged him back, and I feel incredibly bad about it. He emailed me a few times over the course of like a couple months, and yeah, who knows? My bad. Uh, Kind of skipping ahead and so over some time, right? Uh, took the class again the following semester, passed the class, literally barely, and um, understanding that I needed a lot more help going into that summer, I probably studied harder than I've ever studied before, prepping for Calc 2. Um, went into Calc 2 in the other classes that semester. I don't even remember, and I passed them just fine. Um, Kind of skipping more towards my second year, mostly fine again necessarily, and then going into my third year, I actually failed another class. That professor sucked. Definitely partly my fault as well. I've always had some issues with studying. I mean, obviously, I never really generated those proper skills when I was in high school, so I've been kind of just developing those now while I've been in college, and I still don't think they're pretty good now. I mean, frankly, I actually have an exam on Tuesday. Today is Sunday the 5th, 2025. It's currently 6:22 p.m. I have an exam on Tuesday for a class that I really not a single clue what's going on. So I'm actually ahead of the curve, engineering concerned, right? Um, but I don't really have a lot of time tomorrow to really work either because I have like work, but I'll get some studying in. The class for the test is until 4 o'clock, so I'll have some time before on Tuesday as well. Um, but that's besides the point. Like I still don't really have those study skills fully developed. I do have better ones, especially from my first and my second year, but obviously they still need some work. Um, but then yeah, going to my third year, I actually got an internship working for the government, a government contractor actually, which I can't really talk about that much. Um, but I mean that's basically every engineer's dream is to make big bucks working for the government or saving the environment. If I could do both, cool. But you know, I'm here to make money. I'm here to make money and to do cool stuff. And you know, I think what engineers need to really understand, right, is that you are here to do cool stuff. And yes, you can be here to do money, but you have to like what you do. At the end of the day, I would not be here right now if I did not like the things that I was doing in my classes. Do I like everything about it? No, no, you're not supposed to. Every major has its issues. You know, I have friends in other majors that complain about, you know, business majors complain about what color crayons they have to eat that day. You know, I'm just kidding. They have their own problems. Their actual problems. You know, their degree is just as hard in some ways. I can't wink. Whatever. Um, but every degree has its difficulties, and you can get through those difficulties if you are willing to put in the work for it, right? You know, at the end of the day, if you like what you're doing, even a little bit, you will get through it. You'll figure it out. You know, I went into engineering not really sure if this was going to be my long-term solution. my long-term idea of what I wanted to be in the future. And, you know, I'm actually glad that I did. I'm glad that I picked it because I do love what I'm doing. I think what I'm doing is actually really cool. And I'm also pulling something up super quick. Okay. Because I want to show you something. But like I genuinely do enjoy what I'm doing, and I think people need to understand that, like, and I'm kind of scrambling, I'm sorry, because I'm opening up a tab for where this channel stuff is going to be and what my logo looks like. Um and this goes for everybody, right? So looking in your eyes, right? I hope I'm looking at the camera. It's not my toe. Okay. If you genuinely do not like your major, switch your major. It does not matter how much money you're going to be making in the future. Obviously, okay. Obviously, you should consider it a bit. Don't go into some super hyper specific degree that doesn't have any sort of ROI, return on income, investment. Oh, that sounds so stupid now. Whatever. Like engineering, yes, you can make money, right? The job market changes. Look at all my poor homeless computer science majors. Rest in peace to those guys, man. They literally have cybernetics in their brains now and hair ripped out of their scalps just for them to not get a job at Google anymore. I mean, it is rough. I'm just lucky now that electrical engineers are wanted. They might not be in the future. I'm doing this because, one, I hate myself, and I'm just kidding. Because I like it. I'm a big solar energy guy. I think renewable energy is super cool. I love nuclear. Again, I'm a big history nerd guy. I was so I have you know how many times I've watched Oppenheimer? Four. Four times, yeah. I feel like I'm like ranting weirdly, but I want to keep these as uncut and unedited as possible. Maybe I'll add some nice flair here and there every once in a while. And maybe I'll have some cuts if I need to, but I generally just kind of want to keep this as like a, maybe 10 to 20-minute discussion of just how everything's going. But I think I'm currently on like the sixth. I'm sorry. I ate a burger before this, and I'm having bad acid reflux. It's so I think it's week 7. We just finished. Yeah, we just finished week 6, so it's week 7. So I have an exam this week. I have an exam next week. The one next week I feel way better about. I haven't even started studying for it. I feel way better about this one because this class has just been just really poorly organized, frankly, on the professor's part and honestly my part. It immediately started bad, and we'll go into more of that later because we're already kind of pushing time. But I might make some shorts maybe. Maybe I'll give some shorts where there's like clips or whatever. Or if there's questions or anything about college, honestly, and it doesn't even have to be about engineering specifically, just college in general. If you have questions about, you know, what college, what you should do, what you should prepare for, what to expect, I mean, how to just get through it, ask away. I don't have all the answers. Obviously, I'm still here. I'm still figuring out myself. I'm still going through the same struggles that you probably are going through or you're going to have to go through. And, at the end of the day, it's not about those specific struggles. It's about how you specifically navigate those. And, I might just sound like someone that's just preaching random garbage because frankly, I probably am. I mean, I'm trying to create these videos not just necessarily for, to make content. I'm doing these mostly for myself. I'm here to watch these back so that I have something to look back on and something to build a better foundation from. Like I said, I've recorded videos in the past regarding this kind of idea, and some of them have been pretty negative. And maybe I'll post those at some point, but I do kind of want to try and keep this as positive as I possibly can. Obviously, there's going to be days where you can't do that, where I can't do that. And, you know, like I said, it's bouncing back from those days, not accepting that you are a failure or whatever. Like, I failed classes in college, and it sucks. Your life is not over. Pick yourself up. Figure out what you did wrong. If it's that professor and you don't like how the professor gels, go find a new one. If it was more you, try and email the professor. Try and pick their brain on how they set up these exams, set up these quizzes, set up these homeworks. Read the book over the summer. I mean, basically do what I did over the summer in which I failed that Calc 1 class, or finally passed that Calc 1 class barely, and then moved into Calc 2. You have to, if you need to put in the extra work, put in the extra work. It will pay out. I promise you. I promise you it will pay out. Um, and put yourself out there. I've had this problem the most. I am a very introverted person. I don't really go out. I don't go out at all, actually, frankly. But, you know, at least do it for yourself for your future career. Put yourself out there for internships. If I didn't do it, I wouldn't have worked the internship that I really enjoyed, which I might talk about a little bit in the future, but not a lot of specifics, just so FYI. You know, putting yourself out there as not just a person, but also as a future worker, you know, if this is something that you really want to do, you need to have those connections. And if I have one thing that I can say just to lead this first little log off, is invest in yourself, take a breath, and find really good study tactics. Okay, you know, make sure you're studying efficiently. Take a breath. Take away from school. Take some time away from school. I know as an engineer, I have no free time. You find the free time. Play some video games for like an hour. I play like some Madden. I play a quick game of Madden, and then I hate my life because I lose all the time. So then I go back to engineering as my safety. But you know, find that free. Go out for a walk. And I forgot what the third thing was. Oh, invest in yourself. Yeah, please take a shower. You know, my room's a mess right now. I'm guilty of it too. I need to kind of clean up my room a bit. It's been a bit chaotic. I've been kind of zooming around and doing a bunch of places and stuff. So, and doing a bunch of different things. But invest in yourself. Please take showers. Please take care of yourself. I'm breaking out right now too. I need to kind of do better with that. My hair is greasy right now. I'm just an oily person anyways. But you know, please take showers. Please take care of yourself. Mental health, physical health, all that stuff. If you need help or anything like that, please go find the help that you need. Um, you know, we're all dealing with the same thing. Know that you're not alone in this. Please go find someone to talk to if you ever need something like that. And just, again, please take a shower. But yeah. Hi, my name is Mason. This is To Be an Engineer, and it is currently October 5th at 6:33 p.m. If the YouTube channel is going to look something like this, To Be an Engineer, TBAE Pont. Hopefully there's no vital information here that you would take to steal my identity, because I don't know. But yeah, I'm hoping to post at least once a day, or post each day, if not every other day. But I do want to try and keep these at least consistent as much as I can, you know. But yeah, I think that's really all I got. All right, this is To Be an Engineer. Good luck, everybody in college. And yeah, I'll see you when I see you.